This is another video describing how you can get a business application up and running on the web and some of the functionality that you can gain by doing that. There's cost savings and access all available to you. This is my homepage, paulbretherick.co.uk, and if you'd like to give Dynamic Web Pages a try, you can click directly from this into Give Dynamic Web Pages a try. Or you can enter it directly, demo.dynamicwebpages.co.uk. When you go into that for the first time, you need to log on to the system with a user ID and password, and you can have all the levels of security associated with that. But I'm just going to now give you a feel of how quick some of these things can happen. And so this is a property management system, as I've described before. Let's say we now have a new landlord coming on stream, or we have a new person that we'd like to deal with. So if we like to just go in and we'll insert the details, you can add as much or as little of these, and you can make all these fields mandatory or optional. And once you submit the details, you have Paul B in as a contact. So if you want to go in and filter, it becomes immediately available to you. So Paul B as a contact. So if we add Paul B, but if we also add an additional contact, so if we also add Paul B as a landlord and Peter L as a tenant, so let's just add Peter L. So that gives you Peter L. So if we now go onto properties, and they've brought on stream another property, so there might be you can use a postcode or any kind of let's just bash in a property, and it's currently a current property. So if we submit that, so we've got Ash Tree Lane on M33. So now you can do an association. So if you go for landlords, perhaps I should have by doing let's just add a new landlord by adding M33 for RT. I think that was the Ash Tree Lane. Let me just go back. It's very difficult to actually monitor some of these things when you've got strange keys, so let me just show you one of the other things. Let me just find that again. So I'm going back into property here. I'm going back into M33 for RT, and let's edit this, and we'll call it Ash Tree Lane as a key value. That brings it up to the top of the list, so that when we go back in on landlords, we're now adding a landlord for Ash Tree Lane. If we look for the property, it comes at the top of the list. It just means it's easier than trying to spot it in the midst of the postcodes. So we've got this new property, Ash Tree Lane. We've got this new landlord, Paul B. So if I scan down, we can pick up Paul B. Now you can see that having added the contact details, it's dynamically added it to the drop down list, which maintains the security and integrity of the data. So there's the landlord for Ash Tree Lane. If we then add a tenant, so we can go into tenants. We want to add a tenant of Ash Tree Lane, and let's say the tenant is Peter L. So Peter L is there, so we add Peter L, and let's say we've agreed £450 a month. Just to add an additional field, and let's say he's starting 30th of November. 30th of November. Obviously we won't know what his end date is currently, so we'll submit that. But you can use this for historical data as well. Ash Tree Lane, so having done that, if we now go into Ash Tree Lane, we can pick up Ash Tree Lane, and you can see that it's immediately associated that Paul B is the landlord and Peter L is a tenant. And if you want to add the contact details, so if you want to add contact details, we can find Paul B. so we can filter this down. We go into Paul B, we can edit Paul B, and we can add his mobile phone. That is my mobile phone number if you want to talk to me, and I am Paul B. But if you then come back from that and go into properties, Ash Tree Lane, yeah, there's a mobile phone automatically generated. So all the information is dynamically linked for you. But in the midst of this, you just added a new contact, or a couple of new contacts, yeah, a landlord, a tenant, a property. But let's say you now take a phone call and someone's looking for a plumber. You know what you can do? Yeah, you can. These tabs are already there, but this is the tab that we were working on. If you want to create a new tab, yeah, you just add DynamicWebPages.co.uk, demo.dynamicwebpages, and it goes straight in. Yeah, so we've now got two tabs open. One that's where we are and managing the property and the adding of new data, but we've taken a phone call and someone said, oh, I've got a leak, a tenant that's rung in and got a leak. Well, first of all, you can find out the tenant, so you can look and let's say it's Mike Beach. So Mike Beach has rung in, yeah, so you can actually see they take a phone call from a Mr. Mike Beach, and he says, I'd like a plumber, I've got a leak. And you can very quickly go from Mike Beach, you can find out that Mike Beach is a tenant at Lady Drive, yeah, so you can look at Lady Drive, yeah, and you can find out Lady Drive, you can find out the details that's going on with Lady Drive. So if you wanted to have a look and see if there's any action outstanding on Lady Drive, you can filter on Lady Drive, yeah, and you can see Paul Stringer's a landlord, Mike Beach is a tenant that's given us a call, yeah, and bearing in mind we've still got all this available on our other tab, so we can go back to that any time. Yeah, there's no action currently on the property, yeah, but now the guy wants a plumber. So first of all we can look at the suppliers, so we can go into suppliers, yeah, we can go, yeah, and we can filter and look for a plumber. So you can say to the guy, well, we've got Peter White, these are his contact details, or we've got Bernard Castle, yeah, and can contact one or other. And of course, yeah, if he isn't prepared to do that and the management agent has to do that, then of course you can add an action required, yeah, on Beach Road, or indeed you can add an action required on any, if you so this is our Beach Road, so Beach Road leak, and you can add Beach Road, yeah, but as you can see the Ash Tree Lane's already there, which is the one that we've just added on the other tab, yeah, and it's a plumbing repair, so we get a plumbing repair, you can add when it's requested, etc, etc. So hopefully you'll get an idea of how quickly you can do this. Once you've satisfied your phone call, you've got Mike off your neck, yeah, and you've given him the details of the contact details of the plumber, you've recorded the action required, you can then flip back to carrying on, adding data against Ash Tree Lane, new landlords, new contacts, or whatever you happen to be doing. So you can see that you can navigate around this very easily. You can have one or as many tabs as you like. If you open a new tab, you can add yet another. So it's only limited by, if I can spell dynamic, we'd be okay. Only limited by the number of tabs that you can handle, and it all works interactively. So for instance, if you're sat in here and you think, oh, this is a bit dreary, this style, I'll swap my style to something a bit more exciting. This is looking a bit more exciting now, so I'm now working with a different style sheet in the background. But what happens is that as you navigate around here and you go in your other tabs, it will automatically shift all the other tabs to the new style. So you can see that you can work with multiple tabs. Similarly, at the end of the day, when you've finished for the day, if you go to the home page on any one of the tabs that you have available, you go back to your main menu and you log off. Once you've logged off and the log on screen reappears, sorry, you can bring this down to a sensible zoom level, whichever you like. Yeah, you can flip back. Yeah, if they try and carry on, someone who tries to log on the other and tries one of the other alternative menu options, it just flips you out because you've logged off. Yeah, so the property, you can't do the property details. It's all finished. Okay, so that gives you a feel of the kind of things that you can do with the dynamic web pages and the functionality that a standard browser presents to you. So if you'd like to talk about building a web-based application, designing a database, or adopting a style and fitting in an application into your own business style, all of which is possible, then these are my contact details, paulbretherick.co.uk. Yeah, if you'd like to drop me an email, give me a call, then I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Thanks very much for your time.